What's up? Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads, and check out the links posted in the description down below to support the channel. Thank you. So here I have an article from rsvplive.ie, and it says Tommy Tiernan apologises. No. He bent the knee to RTE's Eamon O'Neill, a person nobody ever heard about beforehand, but has now gotten a nice bit of publicity off of the back of this. What'll happen next? Probably get a bit of a modelling contract, maybe with Dunnes Stores, maybe be on Dancing with the Stars fairly soon. That's usually the trajectory of these people, and then they fade off back into obscurity because, as we always know with individuals that pull these types of tricks, they have very little, if any, talent, and they try to make a name off of someone else. An individual like Tommy Tiernan here now should have stood firm and should have said, what? Or either said nothing at all, and should have just kept on doing what he was doing. Instead, I'm sure there was a couple of phone calls made, and they said to Tommy, listen, Tommy, you know that old show that you have there? We're not going to keep putting her on. You know the little learner that you have there? You might not get into Vicar Street again there, Tom. And Tom goes, well, instead of calling these things out, because he possesses social media, instead of calling them out there and letting people know what's what, he just goes, it'd be easier just to say sorry. And then he extends himself to giving her a phone call. This is one of the most bizarre and soy things that I've ever seen, particularly from a comedian. Now, when it comes to a comedian and why comedy is a target from these woke people, is it's a target on free speech, in my opinion. And to me, when you see that these people are the stewards of, you can't say that. To be the very ones now, like ourselves, that was laughing and saying, nice one, about jokes about nuns, about the Catholic faith. No problem with that whatsoever. But of course, when the shoe is on the other foot and it's something that they don't like, it has to be pulled up and talked about immediately. This is a person, by the way, in Emer that is on YouTube talking about the likes of ism, talking about that to kids. Now, I'm not talking about the fact that people are coming to this country, that if she wants to go with it and say, oh, this country's an ist country, so it either exists then, and the people that are continuing to flock to this country are stupid, or it doesn't exist at all. So which is it, Emer? Which one is it? There's also as well a number of videos and images going around of Emer doing unconscious bias talks to children in secondary school. So I'd be keeping a close eye on this one. If I was you, if you're a parent, I'd be definitely keeping a close eye on this one, because this doesn't seem to be shaping up well at all. And this is an individual that's interested in shaping the curriculum going forward. Allegedly, speculatively on that one, there's been a couple of articles that have been kind of talking around that. So you're looking at the likes of the critical race theory nonsense that's over in America and it's been banned in a number of states, and you're seeing the same type of rhetoric move its way across here, because like the Americans, whatever they do, we decide to do eventually. But Tommy Tiernan has completely and totally knelt here, and that's a bad thing for Tommy Tiernan, because particularly for a comedian like himself, when you lose that edge, when you lose that sharpness, when you have no, I think, bite anymore, when people know that you're holding back, that's when it's over. It's done for you then. You know, you look at the likes of Frankie Boyle, who has bite, but same thing. A couple of years ago was talking about, I might not joke about that sort of stuff now anymore. That was it, done. And the next guy will come forward eventually, because that's what keeps happening. You see these prolific individuals and you see them get put under the thumb by a big company, and we've seen it. I know Crowder has put out a video in the last 24, 48 hours talking about that. People put under massive contracts and then are punished heftily for things that the likes of the people that they sign the contracts for don't like. So again, this is something that I think now that Crowder has really put out there, and whilst that being an American thing, I can see the same sort of stuff going on here. I could absolutely see it, allegedly, speculatively. So what happened? Eamon O'Neill has revealed that Tommy Tiernan has apologised to her after an offensive joke he told at a gig earlier this month. What a soft, fragile individual. So soft and fragile, by the way, that you've seen a number of media outlets run and try and put an awful lot of cover for this person out there, because they know that a lot of people are turning on the narratives, and they're turning on them quicker than they would have beforehand. People are not putting up with it anymore. They're looking at individuals that are trying to claim to be Irish and then at the same time trying to claim to be African. So you're either one or the other. You know what I mean? Pick a side and stay with it. And if you're going to be offended, well, you've missed the whole point of what it means to be Irish. He said, "It was never my intention for this to happen, and I take full responsibility for it. It was dropped immediately from the set." How soy is that? Tommy Tiernan has bent the knee, and that means that the career is in serious jeopardy now, because people look at that now. I'm telling you, people in Ireland will be talking about that. You get people, of course, listen, he'll fill Vicar Street, no problem. You'll get people that turn up to the gigs, 100%. But that audience that would have been there beforehand are now going to walk away from it, because they know now at this stage that this guy has lost his bite. Now, some will say that ended when he went to the likes of RTE. Please send me your phone number. You were right to call it out as offensive, and I'll do my level best to make sure that something like this never happens again. Yours, Tommy Tiernan. Emer said that she responded agreeing to a call, and they had a conversation over the phone. So he rang me. He seemed very genuine in his words. He expressed that a middle-aged white man has no right to decide what was offensive or not, or is or not, considering... Hang on. Comedians are out there to be provocateurs, and like I said before, this attack on free speech has been very clear and a concerted effort over the last number of years, and now, because they're losing in that arena, they've decided to turn towards comedians who would have been provocateurs and people that would have openly spoke. And now what they're doing is they're being perceived to hammer those guys to try and send a message out then to everyone else. Look what happened with Chris Rock and Will Smith. That was a message being sent out, and a very high profile message being sent out. Because did anything happen to Will Smith after the fact? Nah, nothing happened there. And that happened in front of an awful lot of people. So what they were trying to convey was a sense of you not saying things that are on your mind. This is what's constantly been put out there, and it's been subtly put out there. Look at the way that you're seeing articles being pumped out there about people that are asking very legitimate questions about what's happening in Ireland over the last number of years. Look at the way the articles are moving out. So they went on to say that he has no lived experience from an ethnic minority community or what it is like to be one. Is this the same Tommy Tiernan that said he was living in Zambia for a number of years? That's the same Tommy Tiernan that was talking about that in sets. It was just jokes. He was only joking about that. No. That's up on his biography, that he was living there. Yeah, but he was just joking about it. It doesn't mean like he really means it. And so that was alright then when he was talking about him being a paddy in the middle of Africa, and them all looking at him, pointing and laughing, going, "What's the story with you?" That was alright then. You didn't have any sort of issue with that at all, no. But I tell you, if she has a look at the rest of Tommy's catalogue now, Tommy's bent the knee once now. It's going to just keep coming back again and again and again. Because Tommy, I know you're not listening to this one, but if by any chance you do, they're going to keep coming back at you, and they're going to look back at what you've done before. They're going to look at the likes of the jazz club routine that you did about your man that stood up and you said he looked like a pint of Guinness. They're going to look at that, and they're going to bring that out again, because this only ever swings one way. And the reason why it only ever swings one way is because people like yourself are not firm enough nor brave enough to stand up and call a spade a spade. Because I'm telling you, if you call a spade and start pointing the finger back, this is the way to do it. The best defence is a good offence. That's exactly what you should have done. Instead of bending the knee here now, you're opening yourself to all of it now going forward. And we've seen this happen all too many times before. Seen it happen in the comic book industry where women do these type of things and they say, "Oh, I feel offended about that." And then next of all, Tommy Tiernan is no longer going to be presenting the Tommy Tiernan show. Instead, this sham will be presenting the show, or we'll be on Dancing with the Stars, or be doing a modelling gig for the likes of Dunn Stars. But like I said, talent endures, and eventually then they'll return to the well and say, "Tommy, come back there now, come back." But it's done for him now. An awful lot of people will be looking at this and say, very disappointed. You decided to bend the knee, and for what? There's some pipsqueak. Make sure you're following me over here on Gab at ninja_night, and over here on Gettr at the_ninja night.